Hello, and welcome to the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast, where we explore the latest in life extension and anti-aging science with a dive into a month's worth of insights and new breakthroughs. This podcast is a combined effort of the Lifespan Extension Advocacy Foundation, which operates Lifespan.io and Future Grind, a podcast that explores the ethics and impact of emerging science and technology. Goblins and ghosts were all on display at the end of October, but today, we bring you something even scarier: aging. But we're working to do something about that. Starting off with our research roundup. In a new study published in the journal Nutritional Epidemiology, scientists have found a strong association between olive oil consumption and lower risk of cardiovascular, cancer, and all-cause mortality. This populational study was conducted in Spain, where olive oil consumption is indeed a part of the prevalent Mediterranean diet. However, it has several strengths that make it noteworthy, including its relatively long follow-up period of 18 years. The researchers also did a decent job separating olive oil consumption from other elements of the Mediterranean diet. The study included over 1,500 adult participants with an average age of 46. During the follow-up period, 317 deaths were recorded, including 115 due to cardiovascular diseases and 82 due to cancer. The consumption of up to 1 tablespoon per day of olive oil was associated with a 9% lower risk of all-cause mortality, while the consumption of 2 or more tablespoons was linked to a much greater reduction in the risk of death: 31% for all-cause mortality, 46% for cardiovascular mortality, and a whopping 51% for cancer. Some previous studies have failed to detect an association between olive oil consumption and mortality. However, those studies included short follow-up periods. On the other hand, another study, which had a follow-up period of 13 years, found a 26% reduction in all-cause mortality for the highest levels of olive oil consumption, which is fairly close to the 31% reported in this study. This suggests that benefits from olive oil consumption accumulate over time and can reach very significant levels. A Harvard study published earlier this year is especially noteworthy. It has been conducted in the U.S., rather than a Mediterranean country, with a sample size of over 90,000 and an even longer follow-up period of up to 28 years. In that study, higher olive oil intake was associated with a 19% lower risk of cardiovascular mortality, a 17% lower risk of cancer mortality, a 29% lower risk of neurodegenerative mortality, and an 18% lower risk of respiratory mortality. This study shows a strong correlation between olive oil consumption and mortality from various causes. It does not directly prove a causal link, and people who consume significant amounts of olive oil might also have other healthy habits beyond the Mediterranean diet. Still, especially given the body of other research into this topic, it strongly suggests that regular consumption of olive oil is beneficial for health. A research paper published in the Journal of Applied Physiology has found that regular intermittent exercise encourages amino acids to form proteins in muscle. Previous research has found that a lack of activity accelerates the age-related muscle loss known as sarcopenia. In this study, all participants ate the same standardized diet that approximates Western eating habits: prepackaged meals consisting of 55% carbohydrate, 30% fat, and 15% protein. A tracer was included to measure how much of this newly consumed protein was entering the muscle tissue. Participants were divided into 3 groups: an entirely sedentary control group, a group that performed 15 bodyweight squats every half hour, and a group that went for 2-minute walks every half hour. While there were outliers, the squatting group and walking group enjoyed significantly more muscular protein synthesis than the sedentary group did. While this study involved younger people, it is a credible hypothesis that interrupting sedentary periods might be a key factor in the continued uptake of muscle-building proteins, even among older people. More research will need to be done to determine if intermittent exercises conducted throughout the day are more effective than simple daily exercise in combating sarcopenia. In a new study published in Ecotoxicology and Environmental Safety, the researchers have shown that air pollution leads to lung function decline accompanied by lung and intestinal microbiome disbalances. It is widely accepted that both intrinsic and extrinsic factors influence lifespan. Extrinsic factors include both lifestyle choices and environmental factors such as air pollution. In reality, air quality is hardly on the top of the list of factors that people consider when deciding where to live. A disproportionately high number of job opportunities, more convenient infrastructure, and accessible healthcare make people move to big cities. As a result, more than half of the world population currently lives in urban areas, which are characterized by a high level of potentially harmful gaseous and particulate vehicular and industrial emissions. Although an adverse effect of air pollution on respiratory health is known, particularly in association with COPD, the mechanisms are not clear. In this study, the researchers decided to investigate the effect of metals and several drugs on lung function in aging rats exposed to air pollution. 30 male rats were either in the experimental group and exposed for 3 months to either polluted air from a traffic-heavy urban area in Taiwan, or were in the control group and were exposed to HEPA-filtered clean air. The researchers then analyzed the lung and intestinal microbiome diversity in the rats. The rats contained 3 major bacterial phyla, but there were differences in the bacterial abundances between the groups, with some bacteria increasing or decreasing depending on the exposure type. Lastly, the researchers performed a series of correlational analyses. They showed that lung dysfunction caused by air pollution was correlated with lung and intestinal microbiome imbalances. Meanwhile, differences in drug and metal content in the rats were correlated with lung functional decline as well as lung and intestinal dysbiosis. That's it for our research roundup. You can find more on these and other stories on our website at lifespan.io/roundup. In the world of longevity media, October saw some new videos from Ryan O'Shea of Lifespan News. Hierarchy explores a new National Geographic series that is sure to increase interest in longevity.
Chris Hemsworth is known all over the world for his portrayal of the Norse god Thor in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. But unlike the seemingly immortal and eternally young character he plays on screen, Hemsworth is a normal human. Given enough time, he will age and he will die, unless he can do something about it. That's exactly what he's trying to do. Last November, we told you that Chris Hemsworth would be starring in Limitless, a new National Geographic documentary series on Disney Plus that explores his quest to improve his health and abilities and fend off aging to live a longer, healthier life. That teaser trailer and his longevity-focused social media posts received millions of views and likes, showing the demand for and interest in this type of content. Now, with the show premiering on November 16th, we have a more in-depth look into what we can expect. An emotional, funny, and death-defying journey into why and how we may all want to push past our own limits.
I know the clock is already ticking. I'm teaming up with the world's leading longevity experts. I want to discover how we can all unlock the secrets of living a healthier, longer life.
Oh, good luck with that.
I think I've lost my mind.
Yeah.
This first season consists of 6 episodes, each featuring an expert guiding Hemsworth through various physical and mental challenges that force him to push beyond his limits. Through this, we gain insights into how the human body works, and how we may be able to achieve and extend peak performance. One episode, featuring the well-known Dr. Peter Attia, discusses the potential benefits of fasting, with Attia challenging Hemsworth to go 4 days without food. Other episodes focus on topics such as stress, shock, memory, strength, and acceptance. And if you're justifiably worried about the parting message of an episode on acceptance, consider that both Hemsworth and Limitless producer and well-known film director Darren Aronofsky have publicly expressed their personal interest in extending healthy human lifespans. In Aronofsky's 2006 film The Fountain, the character Theo, portrayed by Hugh Jackman, says, "Death is a disease. It's like any other. And there's a cure. A cure and I will find it." Discussing this dialogue, Aronofsky said, "I remember when that line was in the movie. I debated if it was just too crazy of a line to stick in the film, and whether people would think it was ridiculous. Now it seems like lots of people are taking it seriously." On the growing interest in this topic, Aronofsky said, "Suddenly a lot of resources are going into the science of longevity. All the biggest tech companies have all these departments and wings that are looking into it." The trailer for Limitless also features Hemsworth exploring his personal reasons for wanting to extend both his health span and his lifespan.
Why am I doing this? Why am I doing this?
What's making you nervous?
Oh, death is usually a big one. Yeah. What scares me is not being able to play with my grandkids, be active, all the things I love to do.
There's certain battles we're just not gonna win.
Guess I'd better keep at it.
Let's go!
It's a battle against what time can do to us. So here goes.
Limitless is now added to a growing list of films, television shows, and media projects related to longevity. This is something that is supported by Jellyfish DAO, which we discussed in our last video. This decentralized organization seeks to promote scientific advancements by supporting relevant media projects. Learn more about that initiative and how you can get involved in the video description. When Limitless drops, we'll be watching. Will you? Let us know in the comments and make sure to subscribe for more. I'm Ryan O'Shea, and we'll see you next time on Lifespan News.
A second video from Ryan looks at another example of the connection between the crypto community and the longevity community.
Crypto and Web3 are polarizing topics, but whether you love these technologies or hate them, it is obvious that there is a clear, ongoing, and strengthening connection between Web3 and longevity. Today, we have the latest example of that, as cryptocurrency entrepreneur and diplomat Justin Sun has announced a new donation that is making waves in the longevity community. The $51,000 donation that Justin Sun is making to the Longevity Prize follows on the heels of other large-scale donations and investments from crypto entrepreneurs to the life extension community. The most notable examples may be donations to the SENS Research Foundation that were spearheaded by people such as Vitalik Buterin and Richard Hart. But Vitalik has also joined with fellow Web3 developer Stefan George to support the Longevity Prize. As we covered in our previous episode on the launch of this initiative, the Longevity Prize is actually a series of prizes created to fund longevity science and the researchers behind it. Made possible by VitaDAO, the Foresight Institute, the Methuselah Foundation, and Lifespan.io, the Longevity Prize presents an alternative to traditional research funding and intends to support projects related to improving the human lifespan that may have been otherwise overlooked. The Hypothesis Prize, which is currently underway until the end of 2022, encourages proposals and ideas for promising areas of future research. These efforts will be boosted with this new support from Justin Sun, or should I say, His Excellency Justin Sun, because he currently serves as ambassador and permanent representative of Grenada to the WTO. He is best known as the founder of Tron, and famously placed a record-breaking $4.5 million bid to support charity to win a dinner with Warren Buffett in 2019. Discussing his recent donation, Justin says, "We always say life is too short, and have come to just accept it. Humans have solved some of the most challenging problems we can possibly imagine. Life is the most precious thing in this universe, and extending the average lifespan will change the world beyond our imagination. I am proud to support the Longevity Prize and what it stands for because I believe this initiative will definitely bring together the brightest minds to hack the aging code. I look forward to seeing more discoveries on longevity." This exciting new funding joins a growing list of examples of crypto entrepreneurs and Web3 enthusiasts supporting the longevity movement, and it certainly won't be the last. To learn more about this prize and see how you could possibly win some of this funding yourself, visit longevityprize.com. And make sure to subscribe so you don't miss future updates. I'm Ryan O'Shea, and we'll see you next time on Lifespan News.
Make sure to visit the Lifespan News YouTube channel to subscribe and keep up to date with new releases. That's it for this episode of the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast. Thank you very much for spending another month with us and for your help in the fight against age-related diseases. Whether you're donating, spreading the word, or simply listening to our content, we appreciate your help. Remember to subscribe, leave a review, and post about us on social media. This will increase our reach and introduce more people to the importance of life extension science. Don't forget, you can get additional deep dives into science, technology, and futurism on the Future Grind podcast. Find out more at futureagrind.org. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you next time on the Rejuvenation Roundup podcast.